Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Brad here from Samaritan Fitness, and I have some interesting news for you guys today. This is Derek Lunsford. I have to start off the video as Derek. It wasn't going to be necessarily about Derek, but he posted this on his reels today, kind of mentioning something about the Pittsburgh Pro. He was kind of elusive what he was trying to say, but here, check this out a minute.
Is Derek Lunsford doing Pittsburgh Pro?
Now, if he jumps in the Pittsburgh Pro lineup, that would be awesome. I mean, could you imagine if Derek jumps in and after just winning the Arnold Classic, it's going to be really cool to see these guys stacked up against him. And what I mean by that is, I think Derek looked probably his best at Arnold Classic, and I think he's going to continue to improve and probably be in the top spot or at least the top three, I would guess, at the Mr. Olympia. So to see some of these other guys compared next to him at Pittsburgh would be cool. It's going to expose our weaknesses right away because I think Derek's going to be on point if he jumps in. So let's just pretend, we don't know for sure, but let's just pretend that he's going to jump in. And, what does this look like? For Nick, I think this is Nick's kind of comeback show. He probably doesn't like me saying that, but, he's been away from the stage since last New York Pro, and then he skipped the last two Mr. Olympias. So Nick is kind of on a mission right now. He needs to kind of get his momentum back, and he needs to kind of get his confidence back. Now, knowing Nick, he is confident right now. He's kind of talking the way he did when he was winning, the New York Pro and the Arnold Classic. He kind of talks a big talk, but he shows up and he walks the walk as well. So
I'm giving this everything I have, this prep. This is an all-in prep. This is a no-joke prep. And I'm going to do everything I can possible to bring the best look that I can bring. And that's just where my head's at. And that's, what it's going to go. I know who I'm going against, and I'm not worried about that in the slightest bit. I know what has gotten me as far as I've gotten, and that's what I need to get back to. I need to get back to the no fucks given mentality. I need to go all in, and I need to stop worrying about anything and everything else and just have that full tunnel vision again. And that's what I'm going to do. And I believe all those coming together, I will be the champion. I will be Pittsburgh Pro champ. I will be in the top three of the Mr. Olympia again. And nobody's going to tell me different.
it will be interesting to see how he looks at this Pittsburgh Pro, and will we see the best version of Nick? I don't know. I think we're going to have to see the best version of Nick, especially if Derek jumps into this show. But Nick's looking good here. He's looking big. His weight's up. I think he was at like 287 or something like that recently. So I think he's getting bigger, but his waist still looks pretty good, which is something he needs to be mindful of, is keeping that waist pretty small. But there's other guys that are going to be up in the mix too. If you look at, this is a good video here. This is from today. And if you look at Nick from today, Good Vito looks quite a bit more conditioned than Nick. Nick looks good, but I gotta say, Good Vito is looking super conditioned. He looks dry, he looks hard, he looks big, and I think he's gonna probably put on his best package at the Pittsburgh Pro. So Nick has his hands full for sure, and that's not even to mention Martin Fitzwater, which we're gonna talk about next year. Martin is. Now, these are pictures, I think, a few days out from the Prague Pro, but it kind of gives you an idea what he looks like when he's conditioned right before a show. And I think Martin has put on about 15 pounds since his show, so he should come in a little bit bigger and a little bit fuller, I think, which he's going to need to, I think, to not look small, I guess, but look maybe a little bit downsized compared to Nick Walker. So it's good that he's putting on a little bit more weight, specifically for this Pittsburgh Pro for Nick. So we'll have to see what he looks like when he gets on the stage, and he looks like he's made quite a few improvements. And then we have Michael Crizzo, but this is, after his surgery. Now, he just had surgery, mind you, about I don't know, it was in September. So he's recently had that surgery, and it wasn't that long ago. Here's a video of him, doing the rehabilitation, probably in October or November, so not that long ago. But he's made huge improvements since then. And this is him more recently, about a week ago here. So he's definitely bounced back. He's definitely got his size back, and I just hope he doesn't have any imbalances. I think that's the one downfall he may have, just because of the surgery that he had. I don't think he's going to be. I just don't think he's going to be 100%. To put it that way, I think he's going to look good, and he may prove me wrong, but I definitely think he's going to be. I think give him till the Olympia, and I think he's going to look even better at the Olympia. Granted, he needs to qualify though, so that's the one thing about these guys with Michael Krizzle, Martin Fitzwater. Well, Martin Fitzwater's qualified, but Good Vito and Nick and Michael, they all need to qualify for the Mr. Olympia. So if Derek jumps in this show and takes it, all these guys except for Martin will have to jump in other shows to qualify for the Mr. Olympia. So which shows will that be? I would assume New York Pro, probably the next one that these guys jump into. And then moving forward, I don't know. We'll have to see what shows they decide to do. All right, next up in the news, I have an update from Terrence Ruffin. This is from yesterday. And Terrence is looking super, super impressive. I think he's going to be in the mix at the Mr. Olympia show. And I say that pretty confidently because I think he's going to take this Pittsburgh Pro show. I think he's going to take the win, and I think he's going to be much improved. I think he's going to head off to the Mr. Olympia and actually be up there in the mix with the rest of the guys, like the Logan Franklins, the Mike Sommerfeld. Wesley's not doing it this year. He's going to be doing the Detroit Pro, and if he wins the Detroit Pro, it sounds like he will be taking that time off to improve. So we won't be seeing Wesley at the Mr. Olympia. But yeah, Terrence, you got Mike, you got guys like Logan Franklin and Matthew Grego, and I think all those guys are going to be up in the mix this year. Top 6, those guys should be sprinkled in there someplace, and I think Terrence is going to be right up there with them, just because he seems so much more complete. And he's a kind of a shorter guy. He's probably the same height as roughly like a Mike Sommerfeld. And according to Tyler Mannion, who's the head judge, he says that, that is classic physique, Mike Sommerfeld. So it will be interesting to see what the new kind of standard is for classic physique. And I think Terrence, even though he might be, he's a shorter guy, maybe about the same height as Mike, I think he is quite a bit more classic. And boy, he has just as good as posing as Mike does. And he just looks super classic, and I think he's super complete right now. He's filled in a lot of the gaps that he had in his physique by just kind of filling out a little bit more. And I think he's going to do some damage this year at the Mr. Olympia. I'm not going to lie. I think he has a good chance to, I think, be in the top 3. Let me know what you guys think below. Where you think Terrence is going to be as far as in the Mr. Olympia. Now, obviously, he has to qualify first, but I don't think this can be a big problem for him. So I think he's going to take the Pittsburgh Pro and then get that qualification for Mr. Olympia. All right, now last up I have is Ramon Dino. Here's the video of him and Kevin Levrone doing the kind of the front arm shaking move. That was kind of Kevin's MO. But what can I say about Ramon? He's looking enormous. He's looking huge, which I think is good. But yeah, I think he's going to have to make some improvements and try to find himself again. I feel like he's kind of forgotten and he's not really talked about a whole lot right now. But I think he feels like he needs to get back on track. And I was kind of shocked when I saw this because he's just so massive here. But you know what? He's deep in his off season. Now is the time for him to do improvements, maybe gain a little bit of size. Obviously he'll be cutting back down to his weight class in the classic physique. But what do you guys think? You think Ramon has a chance to come back and be a real threat to the Mr. Olympia? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts below. I'll be curious to know what you guys think about that. All right, guys, please subscribe to this channel. Please give this video a thumbs up. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.